To our figures and facts and stuff that they send here, a bunch of people just got to the office and turned their stream on. Apparently, it happens at 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 100 or so of them, just bang, just like that, and the numbers go up. And we appreciate you being here listening to the stream powered by our friends at SCENG. However you're listening, we appreciate it.
They could be watching Weasel TV.
I hope not.
And
that's powered by Burger King, by the way.
If they are, they're watching you right now.
Are they really?
Yes.
Do I have anything
What's he doing?
hanging?
He's rubbing his nose.
Am I good? Is anything hanging?
No, you're good.
Okay, all right. Just
and
check.
You have on a different colored shirt today.
It's a light black.
Well, I thought it was blue. It looks
No,
blue on
it's
TV.
gray, actually.
Yeah.
It's a light. I call it light black.
Got his top button unbuttoned there, kind of getting all
kind of look like Las Vegas a little bit.
hairy-chested and everything. Man, stop it.
Oh, okay.
Let me switch that thing over to Gary.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't want to switch it over to me, that's for sure.
Gary's hands are gigantic.
Look at that.
Whoa!
Hey, I don't know if you guys heard this story or not, but this is a follow-up to these jacklegs who were here last week. And again, they have every right to, under the First Amendment to say and do whatever they want to do, and they count on that. That bunch from Westboro Baptist Church, those guys that protest at military funerals that were here last week.
Right.
And somebody called and said that, they had been briefed because they were at a place where these people were going to protest. They had been briefed completely the day before about what they did and what they were going to say and how they operated, and that they should not in any way talk to them, look at them, do anything with them, because they look for reasons to sue people who come out that are mad at them so that they can get big chunks of money, and that's how they fund their church and their business. So, and here's an example of exactly how that works. The father of a Marine whose funeral was picketed by these wonderful people has been ordered by a court to pay the protesters legal cost in a civil claim. Albert Snyder's son, Lance Corporal Matthew Snyder, killed in action in Iraq in 2006, buried at his home in Westminster, Maryland. The church out of Topeka, Kansas, showed up to picket the funeral, carrying signs that read, "You're going to hell, God hates you, and thank God for dead soldiers."
Man.
Now, they stand along the route. They don't come in. They know exactly where the legal lines are, and they know how to do it. But it makes everybody upset, of course. And the reason they say they do this, Pastor Phelps says, that God is punishing the United States for the sin of homosexuality through events like the death of soldiers. So God hates these soldiers. That's why he's letting them die. You figured. Anyway, it's the father of this soldier has been ordered to pay more than $16,000 in cost requested by the church for copies of motions, briefs, and appendices. Their legal expenses.
They just have to put a lien on my house before I'd give them a dime.
He sued the church for showing up at his son's funeral and went to trial in 2007 alleging invasion of privacy, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and civil conspiracy. The jury awarded the family $2.8 million in compensatory damages, plus $8 million in punitive damages. That was later reduced to $5 million. The church then was forced to appeal, and the judgments were reversed as the court sided with the church in their claim that the First Amendment rights had been violated, and ordered the father to then pay the court cost, legal fees for this outfit. Now, the Supreme Court has agreed to hear this case, to address the issues of laws designed to protect the sanctity and dignity of memorial and funeral services, as well as the privacy of family and friends of the deceased.
But they're just going to have to rule whatever the law is.
Exactly. They can't
I mean, they can't change it.
No, that's what Congress does. So, I don't know.
As unfortunate as it is, and as bad as the Supreme Court will feel, they're going to have to rule
It's a
for
First
this
Amendment deal.
crazy, stupid church.
I don't know how they cannot. I mean, and I'm not a lawyer, but it looks, every court that has tried to look at it has pretty much said it's a matter of free speech. There's
And
not
that's
a lot
what the
we can do.
Supreme
The
Court's
Supreme
for.
Court, that's
I
the
mean,
last stop. I mean,
they don't get the easy stuff.
that's just not right. That is awful.
That's just a slap in the face, isn't it?
Well, when the family is ruled against, I hope that somebody will go, these people suck. Here's a check for $16,000. Pay it and move on.
But it's like you just said a minute ago. You would let them take everything you had before you wrote them a check.
Oh, sure. They would have to put a lien on my house.
Because you wouldn't give them
Just
the
out
pleasure.
of principle, I would not stroke them a check.
So why maybe nobody else will either? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I guess they end up taking the guy's property, whatever they can.
Well, they could ruin his credit. They could.
Yeah, again, they will.
So maybe somebody will stop even more pain coming to this family by going, look, I don't think you should have to write a check, but I own this big company, or we're a group of Christians that don't think that this church represents us. Here's $16,000.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hope something like that happens.
We'll see. That's tough. It's tough when you see something so distasteful.
It seems like Congress could pass some sort of law about things like this for the future.
Well, they're talking about trying to redesign the law to
But
cover.
the Supreme Court can't do that. They can only interpret.
No. So, it just, but again, then you get into a whole situation of, well, I've got a right to say that if I want to. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm legally where I can be. I've got my permit. I'm doing everything by the book. There's not a thing in the world legally wrong with what I'm doing.
Well, people find ways to make the law work for them.
Yeah, and these people are they're funding their efforts on it.
Yeah.
It's really sad. That's just really sad.
Very sad.
827 at WEZL.
The South